Alright, so if you can stick through this video, you will leave having pretty much a solid understanding of what moving a weight looks like versus owning a weight. It's two very completely different things, and most of the community is full of just moving weight. Most people have been brainwashed to believe that just because you can move a weight through a range of motion that you truly own it, but you don't own it. Ownership comes from control. So here's a good example. Right here, I'm holding a 65-pound dumbbell. I go for the rep, and boom, look at that. You can clearly see that my wrist line is collapsing. Look how the dumbbell is at an angle. It's not completely straight up. It's at an angle because my wrist line is collapsing. My arm is pretty close to my torso, so I wouldn't say that I'm cheating there. I wouldn't say that this is a cheat rep. This is a good example of a weak link. When I talk about a weak link, it's basically referring to a component within the structure of the movement that you're doing. So without getting too scientific, what do you do in a hammer curl? What do you use? You use your grip, you use your wrist, you use your elbow, and you use your shoulder to stay stable through the movement if you're doing it strict. Those four areas of the hammer curl are the components of the movement that I'm talking about. So far, what I see is I don't see evidence of a weak link, but I see little hints that are pointing out to a weak link. My wrist area is kind of collapsing, so that points to a weakness in my lower arm. If we finish the rep, my elbow flexion strength was too weak to finish the rep in a strict form. Now, if I would have swung that thing up, oh my God, of course I would have gotten it because I would have had gravity, momentum, and my stabilizers don't have to compensate as much to finish the lift. Just a few weeks later in the second clip, by this time I was able to identify what the weak link was. It was my elbow flexor. So I did isometric holds to increase my elbow flexion strength. I needed to build the endurance up in my elbow flexion so that way I could finish the rep. I was just a few seconds off endurance-wise to be able to generate that amount of power for longer to finish the rep. To build my arm's ability to withstand holding that amount of power for time. And what happened was my arm built endurance up with that heavy weight in that position, and then I was able to lift 65-pound hammer curls strict for 2 reps. This was just a few weeks later. It's as simple as that. And it's as simple as that in any of the lifts that you desire. I'm specializing in the wrist right now, which is why I'm only offering coaching for the wrist and curling, because that's my specialty right now. But that's the true difference between moving a weight versus owning a weight. You can see right here, if I freeze right about here, that I was literally not only able to do the rep strict, but on the lowering phase, I was able to control it, and I was able to hold it after. I mean, the transformation is unparalleled. It's unparalleled. I went from not even being able to curl it up to being able to curl it up strict for 2 reps and controlling it on the way down after that second rep and then holding it. If that's not weight ownership, you tell me what is. Because too often, I'll be scrolling on shorts and I'll see a guy who claims to be curling 75 pounds, and he's not. He's just not doing it right. He's not owning it, and it doesn't count. This builds actual carryover to calisthenics. This builds tendon strength. This builds your arm for real. It builds the stabilizers. If you like the results that I'm getting in my arms, I strongly recommend, it's kind of a no-brainer to apply to the weak link audit in the description down below. That way you can also experience what it feels like to control lifts like this that the average guy is bench pressing. That way you can actually experience what it feels like to train in a way that carries over for real. Hope to see a few of you guys there, and I will see you guys in the next video.